Hey, so in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to find RFPs, which are requests for proposals, on LinkedIn. For that, you'll need a LinkedIn account, which I'm sure you have. And basically what we do is we just search up here in the search bar and we put in RFP. And then we're looking for a couple different types of projects, but to start, I usually like to start with website redesign. And hit enter. And usually this will pop up first, which is, I think, people related to that search, which is not what we want. We want content. So if you click on content here, that'll bring you to this page where it's actually people posting about RFPs. And that's what we want. And so you'll see like Folio is here because we're sharing the RFPs that we find. We're going to sort here by latest. Instead of it showing us just like whatever it thinks is most relevant, it'll show us things in order of like the date. So that's what we want. And that changes things a little bit. Still have Folio there, but then there's this one that says request for proposals. And it's somebody's sharing this link. And so the reason that we like to look for RFPs on LinkedIn is because it is people who work at these companies sharing RFPs just out of them being wanting to put it out there. So it's more likely, I guess, that you'll be contacting people directly. Usually, actually, it's even in the RFP, it'll say contact so-and-so about the job. And it'll turn out that so-and-so is actually the person sharing it often. So it looks like this one is a link to the RFP on this page. So let me see if there's a download. There's no download. So basically what we can do is we can link to this page. So that's basically how you would find an RFP. So there's one, and I'll just copy this for now. I'll create a separate video about how to then turn this into a Folio RFP. But this one looks pretty good. It's a website redesign. And let me see if they have a budget here. There's a couple things that we would look for in all RFPs, whether it's from LinkedIn or not. It's enough time to respond. So bids will be submitted at September 13th. That's 12 days. That's enough. I usually like to do 7 or more days, at least to give people at least a week to reply. And then there's a direct email address, a direct phone number. So that's both good. And then we like to make sure there's not anything that says like, design firms need to be in Arizona or need to be somewhere, because most of the people that are on Folio are basically looking for work remote that can be done from anywhere. I'm not seeing that anywhere so far as initiated. Requires a vendor who has demonstrated experience in multiple. Yeah, so there's no requirement there about it being somebody who's I guess they're in Alaska. Following. Okay, so this one looks good. I don't see a budget here, which ideally there would be a budget. And if there was, I would want it for a website redesign to be at least $5,000. If it's like a logo design, maybe $2,000 plus. But yeah, that's kind of the bare minimum. Above that is what we usually expect. And yeah, so this one looks good. So that's one, right? So let's keep going here on LinkedIn and see if we can find more. Here's this BFA one that I featured already last week. So it looks like we're probably, and then I featured this one a couple weeks ago as well. Looks like that's the only new one we found today. For now, I'm going to take off this on the redesign, so RFP website design, and search that next. There's also going to be a lot of like marketing stuff, like this person, it doesn't look like they're sharing an RFP, they're just maybe talking about an RFP. That's quite common, so you'll have to go through that. And this is all just kind of saving members they could actually, like our customers could do this themselves, right? This is another one I think that I shared already. Actually, it says the deadline passed. Yeah, so far, that's the only one that's been on. So members could do this themselves, like search through LinkedIn themselves. But what we're doing really is saving them time and putting everything in one place. So as you'll see, like in other videos, as you'll see in other videos, there's many different job sources, and having to go through each one individually can get really time consuming. So that's really what we're doing is we're kind of curating from all these different websites, finding the best stuff and putting it in one place for members so that they can find jobs that they wouldn't otherwise have access to because they wouldn't have the time to go and do this stuff. So one more change I did is I did RFP logo design now. That's another one that we like to look for every now and then. That one's not as common, so that's why I don't start with it. Maybe I'll do a couple more. Maybe like branding would be one. RFP branding. Not seeing anything. This might be one. No, it's just somebody kind of sharing their story. This is, yeah. So as you'll notice, there's a lot of kind of like, check out our RFP. Here's one. Let's see. We'll click off to the link. Somebody shared this. They shared the post that they shared, so that's good. Fairfax County Economic Development Authority. Looks like they're looking for proposals before October 4th, which is good. Before September 6th. Looks like they're going to have a webinar about it. So I'll look at this a little bit more in depth here. Initiating a request for proposals to obtain services of a bidder. These services include, but are not limited to, prepare and implement a paid domestic advertising program. Work with economic coordinates, position, prepare, coordinate, comprehensive communication plan, advertising. So this is actually more on the advertising side. So the reason that I clicked on it because it says branding, but I'm not seeing too much of branding work in here. Here's the actual RFP. It says cover sheet, special provisions. So we'll click onto the cover sheet and see what this outlines. Okay, so this is more of like a form. Yeah, so I think I would probably skip this one for now. But if you run into one like this where there's like branding and then other stuff, or if it's like website design and other stuff, usually it's fine. Usually the bulk of the work being in design or in creative, some sort of creative work, which this one even qualifies as well, advertising. But if it's something like this where you're not sure, go ahead and post it on Asana or on Basecamp, whatever we're using, and yeah, I'll take a look and I'll let you know. So no worries there. Let's see if there's any more here before we end the video. If there's anything else I should mention about this. Yeah, but this is basically the process for it. This is basically all you need to do to kind of keep track of LinkedIn. Here's another one. Yeah, so this one is an interesting one. So already it says WaterAid India invites RFP. So just the fact that it's not based in the US or in Europe puts my guard up a little bit, because there's places like India, Thailand, some Middle Eastern places and Asian countries where the budgets aren't going to line up with what countries and firms in like Western countries are looking for. So I'll do a quick look for budget. And another thing that you can do when you're on this website looking for it is to Command or Control F, and you can search budget. And so this one has, and sometimes sometimes you can do also a money sign. But this one doesn't have any further information about that. So it looks like they are looking for online branding and fundraising. So something like this, you can also post to me, and I will let you know if this is something that we want to share on the site. But yeah, so this is basically the rundown of it. I wanted to record this video for you guys, and yeah, hopefully it helps as you're kind of going through with LinkedIn.